Hi everybody, it's Lori Wetzel here with the next installment of Tech Tip Tuesdays. And this tech tip is going to focus on something that was shared with all of you at the district Apple trainings. But it was mentioned in the morning, and by the time you learned about iPhoto and iMovie and all that other good stuff, this one may have slipped your mind, and it is guided access. If you have any students that have a difficult time staying on task when you give them a task with the iPad, the guided access isn't a bad way to help them stay focused. And depending upon your grade level, it's not something you're going to use with every student, but it is something that may be helpful for individuals based on what you have given them to do. So what I'm first going to do is show you how to set up guided access, and what I do is tap on settings. And when I tap on settings, I go to general, and within general you go down to accessibility and look at where it says guided access, and where it says off, I tap on that and I turn it on. You're going to set a passcode. This is independent of the passcode that the students use on their iPad. And you set this up with the student's iPad in your hand, and they are not watching, so they don't know this passcode. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on Set Passcode, and just to make it simple, I'm going to make my passcode 0000. As long as you're not sharing that passcode with that student, you can keep it as simple as you want. I would suggest when you're done with guided access on that student's iPad that you make sure they turn it off, so that they don't accidentally lock themselves out of something later on. I am going to tap on my home button and go back to my main screen and give you just two examples that I think might fit in the classroom situation. I'm going to Safari, and I'm going to go to Tumblebooks. As all of you know, we do have a trial subscription to Tumblebooks for about a couple more weeks now. However, I have decided, based on feedback, to subscribe to this Tumblebook library. This is ideally lower elementary, but K through 5. And if you're a K through 2 teacher in particular, and you wish to have your students read one of these stories at a center, so no one is at that center, and you want to make sure the students aren't clicking off and going into other areas, I'm going to go to the index and I'm going to choose a story. I'll choose, for instance, Diary of a Fly. And I'm going to tap on Watch Online. And now what I'm going to do is block out the parts of the site I don't want them to touch, so that they don't accidentally click on something and get out of the story. So in order to activate guided access, I triple click and tap on guided access. And now it asks me to circle the areas on the screen that I want to disable. I'm going to go ahead and X out of that one. That's one I had done before. So I don't want the students to access any of this content here on the main menu bar. And I don't want the kids to access any of this content along the bottom. And I don't want them accessing a different website. So I'm going to block this out. I'm going to go ahead and tap on Start. And now the students will notice something is up because there's areas that are grayed out. But the only thing that it's possible for them to do is tap on the play button. So they're only going to be able to watch that particular book or read that particular book that you set them up with. And you can be confident that at that center, they're not going off onto other websites or going off onto other stories when that wasn't what you wanted them to do. All you have to do to get out of guided access is triple click, and hold off for just 1 minute there. If I tap on the home button, not only are they only allowed to click on certain areas of the screen, when they tap on the home button, it tells them that guided access is enabled. They can't even leave this screen. So if you want them working in a particular app, it will lock them into that particular app. In order to get out of guided access, you triple click, you enter the passcode, again, the one the students don't know, and then you can go ahead and X out the areas and hit end. And now you're back to regular use of Safari and the iPad. Here's an example for a middle school level or high school perhaps. This is a website called 10 Marks for Math. And with 10 Marks, if you, for instance, have a student that is having a hard time staying on task, guided access is a great way to keep them on task and keep them in this website. So I again triple click, tap on guided access, draw a circle over the area that I want disabled. So I don't want this student to be able to leave this site, number one, and I don't want them to be able to even leave Safari. I drew my circle around that top area and I tap on start. And now if I have given that student the directions to work on one of their next assignments, though of course they could click on some of these other areas that you see on the screen, and you could always disable those areas as well. If they try to tap on the home button, they can't leave Safari and they have to stay right in this site. I'm hoping this is a management strategy that may come in handy for some of you that are experiencing some students that are struggling with the responsibility of the iPad. Again, it's not something you're going to do with every single student, but it is something that could come in handy at the high school level, for instance, if you're giving the students an assessment within a Blackboard site. They can't leave the site, they can't go look up other information on other sites. This guided access is a great feature. I'm going to triple click to get out of it, type in my passcode. I'm going to end it, and again, since you physically touch the student's iPad and set that passcode, you can go into settings, go into guided access, and turn it off, and hand the iPad back to the student, and it's just the way that you got it. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. Have a great day.